I'll say Roderick, and then you say my name is Hudson, and we're super glad that it opens over, etc. Blah 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 blah.
No. Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah, when he gets
2 minutes.
convicted. No doubt. Watch out. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the funniest show ever. Adam Sandberg, if you see this, I love you. My name is Roderick.
My name is Hudson, and today we are going to talk about how we got into CrossFit, our experience with CrossFit. But first, 2019 CrossFit Open season is behind us.
Thank the Lord. So sore.
So if you don't follow him on his YouTube channel, make sure you do. He asked a bunch of people how the workout went, and you and pretty much everyone you asked said that was the worst open workout yet.
Hardest workout in open to date. Except Hudson, he said it wasn't. He said rowing and thrusters was the worst.
The rowing and thrusters are bad because it's the similar rep scheme of the 27, then the 12, 15, 9. So it's a typical rep scheme, but then a little bit more. And that one I just suck at rowing. And back then I really sucked at rowing. I probably still suck just as bad. But just back then I was mentally much weaker at rowing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that workout sucked because I'm just a short guy that doesn't like rowing. But this one's probably second place, if not tied, as the worst one yet.
Cool. Let us know how the open went for you guys in the comments down below. What was your favorite workout, and which workout did you place the best? So I think for me, I placed the best on 19.3, handstand push-up, handstand walk. What about you?
I don't even know my best placing. To be honest, I haven't looked at the leaderboard. I looked at the leaderboards once after 19.4. I haven't really looked at the scores, but I think my best placing is from, I don't think it was the handstand push-up one. I think it's something different.
Really?
I don't even know. But my favorite one was the handstand push-ups because
handstand push-ups.
Oh, yeah, because
handstand push-ups.
A lot of people couldn't get to the handstand walk, so it was cool that I could get to them.
It seems that every year that there's handstand push-ups, whatever workout that might be, it's usually my best workout. And it's usually close to your best workout too.
Yeah.
So how did you start CrossFit? When did you get into CrossFit? You actually, fun fact, Hudson got handstand push-ups day one?
Day one of CrossFit.
Ugh.
Yeah, my coach was either...
Let's hear about
overly enthusiastic or kind of dumb.
But let's hear your first day, and then tell us how you got into it.
Okay. So my first day at my gym was actually, we both started at the same gym, right?
Yeah, CrossFit Marietta.
We both started at the same gym.
Shout out to Ken, I think his current owner.
Yeah, Ken and Damon. So the first day, I came to a fundamentals class, but they let me come as like an intro. So like the day that I came happened to be day one of their fundamentals because they went through like some type of cycle every week, I want to say. And it was squats, and luckily I've been good at squats since like birth. And on the first day we learned like back squats and front squats. We actually found your back squat and front squat max, which from what I remember, I think they were pretty smart and didn't just let you like, okay, yeah, just hit PR until you fail. Yeah, it was kind of like they kind of gauged
move well, like a perfect
movement.
PR.
Whereas, yeah, and I was already good at squatting. I hit 315 that day.
Yeah, real quick, we need to pause. If you're listening to this and you're not watching the video, pick up your phone and look at this. You gotta show them your quads, dude.
Quads?
Show them the quads. Look at this, guys. Hudson has the biggest fucking quads. Oh my god.
You can't really, it's definitely not noticeable in the video, but I'm only 5'5", so it puts in perspective, it makes them look very big.
They're huge, dude. So, back squat, hit 315.
Hit 315, and then like front squat, I think I did like 225. I never really front squatted that much. And then, I can't remember if we did overhead squats, I don't think we did. Then after that, the workout was like super simple bodyweight stuff. It was like air squats, push-ups. It was like a Tabata, I want to say, style. And then instead of push-ups, she's like, hey, I want you to try to get on a handstand. And I was like, super intimidated. Never been in a handstand before. Like it was very nerve-wracking. I think I did a couple in the workout. I think I like maybe really small sets of them. But then like after that day, I was infatuated. I signed up immediately. Every day I went home after my workout and I practiced handstand push-ups. So I got good.
Were they kipping or strict on your first day?
That I don't remember. I think they were strict.
Okay.
Because I was just too afraid, and it was like there was no way I could try to move it was just press up and down. There was no skill to it.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Tell me about your first day. And then,
all right, and then we'll talk about
what.
So
learn about it.
First day, I went in, and I think the coach had it out for me. Like she wanted me to vomit in the warm up for some reason because
in the warm up.
Yeah. So we did like normal, typical like high knees, butt kickers, side steps, and then we did some jump rope, and then we did some sit-ups, and then we did some squats, and then she had me do like three or 4 100-meter sprints.
Was it just you in the class?
Just me by myself. It was a one-on-one. Had me do like 3 or 4 max effort sprints, 100-meter sprints in the back. This is all warm-up. And I was like, if I'm gonna vomit, like, should I continue or should I kind of chill? And she's like, oh, we'll take a few minutes off. So after I took those few minutes off, they're like, okay, we're gonna do a Tabata, and it was a Tabata for sit-ups, Tabata air squats, Tabata something else.
So it's probably the same workout because it's the same gym. I think it was like Tabata, and I want to say it was like a bunch of body weight stuff.
And I
didn't do any sprints.
I died, like legit. The squats, my legs are actually pretty as. From the 19.5, this is how sore my legs were after doing the Tabata air squats. And I probably didn't do that many. I think maybe push-ups, it was the third one. Anyway, I finished that workout and then I went and sat in the office, and I had just bought a LA Fitness membership for 3 years up front. So I just paid like $700.
You paid, yeah.
Yeah, so I just paid $700 to go to LA Fitness for 3 years. And then I think this is 2 or 3 weeks later, I found CrossFit. And I asked my mom, I was like, hey, so can I do this? And she looked at me, she's like, yeah, you can pay for it too. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to figure out that, but I definitely want to sign up. So I got the sheet of paper, I took it home, and I asked, I'm gonna ask my mom, like, you have to pay for it. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm getting a job so I can pay for CrossFit. So I got a job and I signed up for CrossFit.
So CrossFit got you into the workforce before you were just a kid going to school.
Yeah, I was full-time student, lit. Music major.
CrossFit taught you how to be an adult.
Yeah. It was the worst job.
It was like your first bill, your first expense.
Ugh, it was miserable. So let's hear about how you found CrossFit. Who got you into it? Do you still know them? Are you contact? And
you try to lead up to what I'm already gonna say. So it's actually funny because this is like my 4th or 5th gym that I've been at now since my very first time at CrossFit. I actually still
hashtag RIP Powder King.
Yeah, I still. And the person that actually introduced me to CrossFit, I'm still friends with and work out with at my current gym. So back when I am a very introverted type person, I don't go out a lot. I don't like do a lot of stuff. Like I am super content being by myself, staying at home, going out to the beach or the park and hang out by myself. Like I'm not a super big social person. So
you're boring.
Yeah, pretty much. But I love being boring. But so what I would do is like on the weekends I had nothing to do in high school. I'd go to a lot of my sister's soccer games and I'd watch her play soccer. And the coach, my sister's soccer coach, along with the other parents, kept talking about CrossFit. Kept saying this and that, these thrusts, these burpees, blah blah blah, these power cleans. And I knew some of the things they were talking about because I had done
weight room and stuff.
Weight room and from football. I did cleans. I knew all that kind of stuff they're talking about. And the movements they were explaining sounded really, exhausting and interesting. Yeah, they were like seemed like their workouts were killing them, but they kept talking about how great they were.
It was, yeah.
And I was like, okay, this sounds very interesting. I'm gonna try it out. And then
did you talk to them? Like, were you like, hey, what the hell are you guys talking about?
No, I was introverted. I didn't talk to anybody. So I looked it up. Yeah, I looked it up, and then it's funny because my sister's soccer coach. The gym that I looked at was actually her gym as well. Okay. So I started going to the gym, and that was the same gym that she was at. And I started going. I fell in love instantly, and I started doing a bunch of CrossFit. After that, I moved from one gym further north and moved down to San Diego with you, and then we went to coach a bunch of different gyms. She was at the first gym I went to in San Diego, Power Keg. Then she went to the second gym in San Diego at CrossFit Humanity, where we're at now. So I know the same person, Amanda, from my very first CrossFit gym to now we're at our third CrossFit gym together, which is crazy to think about. Small world. But it's funny because back when I was first finding out about CrossFit, I thought the Spartan Race logo, the helmet, I thought that was the CrossFit logo. Because some guy that always had his Spartan hat on, always talked about CrossFit, was like, oh, it must be the logo. It's probably his gym or something.
Gotcha.
So that's funny how that happened to be. But yeah, I just heard about it like from people mentioning it. And like, back when it wasn't that popular. A lot of people hear about it through the games. A lot of people see it on TV. A lot of people like hear about these workouts that people are doing like for regionals, and they're going these places to hear about CrossFit. Whereas like I had like no negative connotations where everyone thought CrossFit was bad for you. You get injured, this and that. Someone actually came to the gym today for a Saturday class, and they were like, my biggest concern is I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to do like all the crazy things that people do in CrossFit. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we're doing lunges and farmer's carries, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know anything bad about CrossFit until eventually I started doing CrossFit, and I was like, there's a lot of hate for it. And it's crazy, even to this day, there's a lot of hate. So people that don't know, we both have meme pages, and I post a ton of memes, and then I get a lot of people that repost my memes. I'll get people at other meme pages that repost my memes, and they're like general fitness bodybuilding memes. or meme page, and like the meme before mine is like one talking shit on CrossFit, but then mine's not necessarily like, it doesn't say the word CrossFit in it, but it's like it could go both ways. It's like when this happened like literally 2 days ago. Someone reposted my meme and they said the meme was like when your friend tries to convince you to do a horrible workout, and there's Johnny Bravo, it says, "I'm disgusted but curious." And then they reposted it, and even in the caption of that repost they said, "But I'm not into CrossFit." So like, even though they don't really care about, like, it's very weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why I started talking about that.
Well, for those of you guys that don't know, there's a huge difference between competitive CrossFit and health and wellness CrossFit.
That's why I brought it up.
And they get meshed together very often because people see it on TV and they want to go try it at their gym. You are not going to be doing what Rich Froning, Brooke Wells, Tia Claire, you're not going to be doing what those guys are doing at the CrossFit Games at your gym, unless that's what you want to do. The typical day workout is you'll do a strength or a skill, maybe you'll hit a workout, you'll hit a cool down, and then you're done, and then you talk to your friends and you hang out. But that's typically what it is. So I'll tell you guys about how I heard about CrossFit. And I had a buddy for a long time that I was buddies with on Facebook, and he would always post like his weight in the morning and then like chalk handprints on his butt, and he's like,
Eric?
Yeah, Eric. And he's like, CrossFit's so cool. And I remember thinking like, CrossFit's stupid, like stop posting about this. He posts about it every single day.
Did you have an idea of what it was when he was doing that though?
Not really. No, like I just.
Were you just annoyed that he kept just talking about whatever it was?
Whatever it was, he continued to talk about it all the time. I'm like, God, this is so annoying. And at the time, I had been looking. I was like, I was a really small dude. I was like 120 pounds. So I wanted a way to get bigger because I wasn't going to get taller anymore. I'm 5'7". So I stopped doing marching band. I stopped doing winter drumline, and I wanted to lift weights or do something or play football or play rugby, and I just had no idea. So
play rugby at 120.
Well, yeah, I didn't know. I wanted to lift weights, and I know those guys lifted weights, and they were cool. So he posted about one day, it's on ESPN, so I told my dad, I said, hey dad, change the channel to this, let's see what's going on. And he changed the channel, and it's Rich Froning pulling the sled across the finish line, and I'm like, whoa, this guy's jacked. I'm like, that's what I want to do. And luckily I was like, man, this is crazy. All the stuff they're doing, and they had, go to CrossFit.com, check out your local box. So I typed it in, and it was 0.4 miles away from my house. I'm like, how is this gym this close? And I've never seen it before. And it's actually right next to a place that when I was younger, I did karate. So it's crazy, like it's right next to it. It's been there this whole time. I've never even heard about it, never known about it. And then you guys heard my story on my first one. So I typed it in, I called, I said, can I do a trial class or a group class? And then my experience is what you guys heard just earlier in this video. So that's what got. So thanks, Eric, for being annoying on Facebook, because I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
7-8 years later.
That's crazy. It's been one individual person that's brought it up to us. I wonder if people actually let us know how you guys got into it. I wonder if people actually like just happen to stumble across the video or happen to like Google gyms and then happen to just pop their head in. Whereas like now everyone knows about it to where they have like multiple friends that do it. Like it's so popularized now. And then I was listening to Talking Elite Fitness, their podcast, and they're talking about how there was their podcast with Annie Sakamoto, and how they play a game, like they'll go to like a large public area like an airport or whatever, and they'll play like spot the CrossFit shoes. And it's like literally back in the day, like there wasn't CrossFit shoes. Like I wore, my first shoes were like Chucks for like 8 months until I literally like my toes were sticking out the bottom of them. It's like now CrossFit's so big. And it's funny because I also see someone today or yesterday was doing a personal training session with the Kairos and PT like a company that works alongside our gym. And even though they don't do CrossFit, there's like a very conservative like mom that just wanted to go buy athletic shoes. She was wearing Speed TRs.
Oh, okay.
So it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that some people will wear Nike Metcons, even though Nike's kind of, I feel like they kind of market it more as probably just like more functional training shoe in general. But like Reebok is, if you wear Reebok, in like most times when I see it, people are doing CrossFit.
Right.
Like Reebok back in the day was lame. Do you remember like they had like, I don't know if there was like running shoes. They had like,
no, Reebok made stuff.
They had like these weird shoes that were like zigzags. Like the outsole was like I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, Reebok was dying and they lucked out. Did you hear about their lawsuit?
the one back like a few months ago?
The one where Reebok had to give CrossFit a crap ton of money because they weren't paying him outright.
I never heard the end of the lawsuit, but I heard like all the royalties and stuff hadn't been
Yeah,
paid.
exactly. So Reebok's been kind of shisty with it. They've been stingy.
Yeah.
But that's crazy to think that. I don't think Reebok would still be around if it wasn't for them.
Well, I don't know. I think this year it's still the Reebok CrossFit Games, so.
But cause I think from what I remember seeing, this was probably about a year ago I saw this, that they just recently re-signed the contract, because I think it was a year ago, like the last year of regionals, they were talking about having Nike was going to be the new sponsor, but Reebok had just signed a new contract to like 2020 or something like that. So, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. On a really different note, you were talking about Annie Sakamoto. I actually have Nano 1s that are signed by Annie Sakamoto, Dan Bailey, Annie Thorsdottir, and Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet from the 2000.
And Rich, no?
No, I have a shirt signed by Rich Froning and a headband signed by his wife Hillary Froning. But yeah, those shoes, I once they got them signed, I just threw them in a box and I'm like, I'm gonna keep these here for a while. But that was in 2011, before anything. I mean, pretty cool.
8 years ago.
Yeah. It's crazy. Back in the day, at the CrossFit Games.
Were you doing CrossFit then? You been doing CrossFit for 8 years?
That's when I started, I think, 2011.
Okay.
But when I went to the games that year, tickets were $50 for the whole weekend, and you could go. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Carson, California, like how they did the games there. Watch a video back in the day on the grass field. The grass field wasn't used for any of the events. They just had like a big tent where all the athletes were, and all the athletes would walk back there, and then you could hang out, and they would come up and be like, "Hey, what's up?" and they'd sign stuff for you, and it was really cool because like they weren't famous or professional famous. You know, I don't know if any of these guys were getting paid that much money. They were just there to compete at the CrossFit Games. So the people in the stands, it was probably kind of crazy to them. It was crazy to us. I have a picture with Rich and Ben Smith and Annie Thorsdottir. They're just hanging out, chilling.
Another topic I want to talk about, because I feel like this is something that happens to me on a daily basis. I don't know about you, probably because you're such a big stickler on it, because of movement efficiency, keeping a healthy body, warming up, mobilizing, all the whole thing, the thing that is required for you to stay healthy throughout the sport of CrossFit. We can have ties into other things as well, but how people will always say, we were talking about this earlier at dinner, once you're my age, you'll understand. Oh, wait till you turn 40. Oh, you know, it's like people instantly assume. I mentioned one of my videos the other day.
Yeah.
People assume age equals injuries. Like, it's like literally the older you get, your amount of injuries increases tremendously. Whereas obviously, like, if the more you get older, like the less like your body recuperates, the more wear and tear you have on your joints and that kind of stuff. But it's like people say like, oh, just because I'm getting older, yeah, that's why my shoulder hurts. My shoulder's just because I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Whereas like they don't do the appropriate things.
Yeah, they're not going to physical therapy, not going to chiropractor.
When you're doing CrossFit, it's such a high intensity sport, so demanding. Even if you're not doing the competitive side of it, like you're still pushing your body if you really, strive to. Like you need to do these type of things. You need to go see massage therapists. You need to go to chiro. You need to like have these things done to your.
Well, I wrote a post about this on my Insta talking about how people think that you can continue to push and not mobilize and not do things. It's like trying to drive your car on the same tires forever. Mm-hmm. Like eventually you need to change the tires. You need to change the oil. You need to keep consistent. Like if you're going to try to do something and you want to stay injury free. If you were sitting on the couch doing nothing and now you're doing CrossFit, like you need to go to a chiropractor. You need to go see a physical therapist. You need to get a massage. Like those are not optional things. Like those are things that you need to do to care for your body. And something that a lot of people say is like, you can either pay now to take care of your body or you can pay later.
Or pay the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's probably going to be cheaper to pay for a few massages now in your 20s, 30s and stuff, and then not have to pay for reconstructive knee surgery and reconstructive shoulder and all that stuff. And I mean, I also, this is just me personally, when people are like, yeah, well, when I was your age, I could do all of that and this. And I'm like, yeah, but you were also probably drinking on the weekends, raging, staying up late, and doing all those things. And I'm like, I don't do those things. So I hope I'm not where you are at your age. And this is not anybody in particular, but I just hear it often, like, oh, when I was your age, I can go party all night and then get through the day. I'm like, yeah, but you weren't trying to be a competitive athlete, But I do understand what you're saying when a lot of people will say, because I'm old, my shoulder hurts, but they also aren't mobilizing. They're not going to the chiropractor. They're not going to physical therapy. They just go, it hurts. It's gonna hurt forever. which doesn't need to be the case.
Yeah, I try to work around it. Like, I'm just gonna stop doing this thing for a few days. Oh, my shoulder feels better now, and they go back to doing it, and then it's back to the same issue they were having.
Yeah, they'll focus on the symptoms instead of how it started. Like, why is this causing it?
Yeah.
Root cause.
I think the biggest thing that needs to happen, there's so many different types of, I like to say athletes, because essentially you're doing such athletic movements, you're essentially becoming an athlete when you come to a CrossFit gym. But with the members in the gym, there's so many different types of tiers to a member. There's a person that wants to strive, push themselves every day. It's usually more so guys, definitely way more competitive guys in the gyms I've experienced than ladies. So super competitive. Someone just wants to see progress. They definitely want to get better every time. People that just come just to get a sweat and just to know they're staying healthy. And people that come because they feel like they have to and they don't want to get incredibly fat from all their weekends of partying. So like when you're someone that's top tier, you definitely have to spend more time doing your own stuff, warming up, taking care of yourself. But the people at the bottom as well, it's still like your duty to make sure you're taking care of yourself and say like, okay, my shoulder hurts. Ask your coach, ask another member if you see them stretching. Hey, have you ever experienced this? Google it. Find out like other things like you can do to help prevent stuff, because I always tell people if someone tells me, hey, my shoulder hurts, I give them stuff to fix it, and then a few days later it goes by, hey, your shoulders hurt? Yeah, we're doing stretches. No, I don't know about you, but I personally do not want to experience pain. If I can prevent pain as much as possible, just like in a workout, do you want to make the workout 10 times harder, or do you want to be efficient? Do you want to make sure you're getting everything prepped and ready so you can maximize your potential in the workout and not have it be as grueling? Then do the things you need to do to make sure you're staying healthy throughout the workout, the week, the year, and prevent all these injuries. And if you do experience something, proactively go about fixing it. Don't just let it fester and become worse if that ends up happening.
So I was trying to find the post, I couldn't find it, but I talked to a lot of people that they're like, we actually made a funny meme about this, and it's Hudson slapping me. I don't know if you can find it and put it in this video, but it's somebody will come to the gym and like, hey, my back's kind of hurt. I don't think I should do these deadlifts. Yeah. And then as a coach, typically we'll be like, okay, well, let's change the movement or lighten the load. And then you turn around, that person's doing deadlifts anyway. So in the video, I put weight on to do deadlift anyway, and Hudson comes up and slaps me. Like, what are you doing? You just told me that your back is hurting. Why are you going to do deadlifts anyway? So I think it's super important. If you are coming to the gym often, it's not like there's only so much we can do. We're dealing with at least 20 people in a class. We know, for the most part, people's injuries and things that are nagging them. But it's your responsibility to come to us and say, hey, my shoulder's really bugging me today. What is something I can do? And typically before class starts, we already have those in mind. Like if somebody's shoulder's hurting, what should we do? Someone's knee is hurting, what should we be doing? And we can scale and modify. It is just as much, it's more your responsibility to take care of that than it is ours. You have to tell us, and we will help to give you the information necessary to do that. But you also have to tell us what's going on, and then you have to actively do those things. Like your knees are hurting, well, when's the last time you were stretching your quads out? How you been rolling out? Do you cool down after the workouts, or do you finish the workout and just go straight home instead of cooling down on the bike? Like, you have to do those things. You have to tell us. You have to bring it to our attention so that we can help. If we can, we've used CrossFit to help athletes who don't have legs, who don't have arms. We can definitely modify and scale for your wrist that's bugging you, or your shoulder that's bugging you.
Yeah. But as long as you're trying to be proactive about it and not just letting it see if it's just gonna go away.
Yeah, it's not gonna go away.
9 times out of 10, you gotta be proactive about it. I just think I wanted to bring up because I feel like, so we've been coaching since we were really young. How old when you started coaching?
What, 20? 19 or 20?
20? I was...
Probably 19.
When I started coaching on my own without interning, I was probably around 20. And right now I'm almost 25, you're 25. So it's funny though, because you get this pretty often where I'll have a member, I'm become friends with them, I teach them all the stuff that I know, and they become pretty well, and they're like, just in a conversation randomly, they're like, how old are you? And like, oh wow, I never would have guessed you were that young, because
you're boring.
Yeah, you seem like an adult. You don't do much. You didn't do anything all weekend? That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's like, and then people understand that hey, yeah, this is my thing. CrossFit is my thing. I spend all day doing CrossFit. I think about it, make freaking videos about it. Like, we're engulfed in it. But it's also, when they see that the work we put in, especially now that we just did the Open, people saw like all the work we've been putting in has been paying off, and like how much fitness we were able to, you know, improve on throughout the year. That hopefully they understand that, hey, we need to, that all this stuff we do beforehand is mandatory to be able to perform at this level.
It kind of goes into, I don't know if you guys follow Make Memes Great Again? Make WODs Great Again?
Make WODs Great Again.
He talks about scaling the Open, and he wrote a long post, and he's talking about
good.
like, yeah, like your firsts shouldn't come in the Open.
Mm-hmm.
As cool and as awesome as like you getting your first bar muscle up in the Open, you should be practicing.
It's like that's essentially the last time you should be doing, or the least, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
That's the last time the whole year you should be doing it. It should be any other time throughout the year, either immediately after the Open, before the Open, you should be practicing these things to have them, so that when it comes to the Open, they're something that you can perform routinely.
Right. I don't know where that was going, but it just kind of seemed like to go with what you were talking about.
Yeah. You were talking about how, like, yeah, the Open shouldn't be your time to get your first. It's nice because maybe, it's funny, so a lot of people that drop into our gym and that say like, or
CrossFit Humanity, check us out downtown San Diego.
Yeah, best gym in San Diego. If you don't go to other gyms. Anyways, what the people that come into my gym, they're like, yeah, I've been doing CrossFit for 4, 5, 6 years. I'm like, awesome. I have them do snatches into the strength, and either they move like crap because A, their coaches are bad, or B, I've heard that they're like, yeah, their coaches in program snatches that often. Like, yeah, we do snatches like maybe like once or twice a month, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, I feel like there are some gyms that don't know how to properly teach snatches, and they don't care to learn how to, so they just substitute all these snatches, these more challenging movements, with easier ones, just make the programming easy, just get people sweaty,
right,
burning calories. But
well, I mean,
it blows my mind that some gyms aren't programming snatches, handstand push-ups, muscle-ups.
Well, I will actually say this too. I'm really curious because I know in San Diego here we've both had full-time coaching positions before, which I don't think that's typical. We were talking about house hunters and how moving somewhere else you could have a house for much cheaper than living in San Diego. But I told him, I'm like, I don't think very many people have like full-time coaching positions or can coach for like, you know, decent money. So I'm really curious if you guys could comment down below, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable, but like how much you make as a coach if you're a CrossFit coach, and how many hours do you work a week?
Yeah, because hourly rate, or for your salary.
Yeah, because I feel like that's going to play a lot into the type of coaching that you're getting and the type of programming too. Because if that coach is, you know, they work a few hours a week for a free membership, are they going to put in the same time as somebody who's getting paid a salary to be there 8 hours a day? So maybe those people are just coming from areas like that. I mean, obviously there's good coaches, there's bad coaches, but there's also bad athletes, people that don't take cues and they just let their ego get in the way.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at it from the other side.
So there's so many complex pieces when it comes to CrossFit. The programming, the modifications, the strategy to the workout. You look at a workout, it's not, you don't just look at a workout and go, okay, I'm just gonna go balls to the wall. Okay.
Travis Williams.
I'm a push. This is the second podcast. I mentioned Travis Williams the second time.
Yeah.
You push here, pace here, modify something because you can't do this movement. Like, there's so many things that are involved in it that if one part of that isn't knowledgeable enough, whether it be the coach, whether it be the athlete, whether it be the program, if they get the program somewhere else, if it's not catered to their individuals and their capabilities, like they don't modify it enough because they get the programming from like a games athlete or something like that, it's like it can lead to these problems. It can lead to injuries. It can lead to not getting better at stuff, because if you program handstand walks and you don't have a decent modification for that, and people aren't gonna get it, or they're gonna try handstand walks for the first time even though they can't do them and hurt themselves.
Bear crawls, great modification
Yeah.
for handstand walks.
One thing kind of leading off of that, back at our gym, CrossFit was much smaller back then for sure. I didn't know anyone outside of my gym that was doing CrossFit.
Yeah,
whereas like nowadays you see a lot of people again doing CrossFit that wear CrossFit gear outside. But like a lot of stuff that I learned how to do muscle ups, handstands, get better at snatches, because my snatch was atrocious for like the first 2 years. Like I
helped him with that.
Yeah, you were
Snatches.
you were good at snatches. Like that was all done on my own.
Yeah.
Like every single day, I was on YouTube looking up videos, how to get better at stuff, how to do stuff. Like it was, I feel like that's a big part. Like going back to what we said earlier, like you kind of have to do your own research sometimes because you can only get so much out of our class, especially when it's in a group setting. Like unless you're paying for PT, if your gym offers PT and you have a favorite coach and you think that coach is knowledgeable enough to get you from point A to point B, schedule a PT session with your coach, see if that's what you want to do. But otherwise, if your goal is to progress in the sport or just progress in your health and your fitness and be better because
movement.
Yeah, because you want to live healthier and you want to be there for your kids, or you want to get better at your other stuff, because people surf, people hike, people bike, people like we have a lot of people at our gym that do like 50. So Ed, he's gone this weekend, and I think next weekend he's running a 50K. It's like his 4th or 5th 50K. So he's using CrossFit to supplement his running, or he's using CrossFit supplementary for his running to get him fit and healthy and strong legs, protect all his joints, make sure he's mobile. So I feel like if you want to get better, you can't just be spoon-fed. You have to do your own research.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. The camera, I don't know if you could tell, maybe you're just listening to this, but the camera died a little bit back. We don't know where it ended up, so I don't know how it's going to get chopped up, but we'll see. Let us know what you guys think of this podcast. Give us some topics. What do you guys want to hear next? I mean, I'd like to do this at least once a week. Should we pick a date? Or like a day, every day we post?
Twice a week. Every day we lit. What's today, Saturday?
Today's Saturday.
Saturday nights and Tuesday nights?
So that's what we've been recording them. Yeah, so when are we going to post?
Wednesday and Sundays.
Wednesdays and Sundays? All right. Every Wednesday and Sunday. At least for right now. Expect a video or podcast up, so let us know what you guys want to talk about. We'll talk about other things that we see, more so like from the coaching side. I feel like a lot of the CrossFit podcasts right now aren't necessarily from coaches. Do you know any coaches that are doing it?
No.
I don't know any coaches. No. So I guess we'll give a lot of perspective from our end as coaches and what we see inside the gym, and from like the back end of the gym, like the back half of the gym. What am I looking for? Oh, yeah, the back end.
Back end.
Yeah, like all the stuff that you might not see in that hour of your class. So if you have any questions about that kind of stuff, leave them down below, let us know. Otherwise, if you don't already, follow us on Instagram. Huddy, Conceivary Fitness, Roderick Lopez, Memes for Time, Roderick Lopez.
No meme, it's just meme for time.
Meme for time.
Yeah.
You only got one meme?
Just one meme.
Okay.
Meme for time.
Okay, you only gotta post one a day then.
That's it, just one a day.
You gotta change it.
I can't, there's no S.
Oh.
If you guys made it this far in the video, hit the like button. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.